run around and give Tassie their first. Down the wing, the fly! Hello. Leary! Hello. Disposal away, won it back though. Now gives it to Mapley, who sends it on its way towards goal. The big run on it!
Was playing senior footy at age 15, Lockie Hay. So he's not new to this as Leary explodes away from the congestion. Not another one for Tassie. Oh, it is! They're on fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Devil's Den podcast where we talk all things Tassie Devils. Well, defenders weren't required on Sunday as we watched a game with 40 goals kicked in an old-fashioned shootout with the Devils walking away victorious and unscathed. This is the Devil's Den. Thank you for joining us and thank you to our sponsor bets.com.au for all your betting advice, tips and news articles. Always remember though, please gamble responsibly. I'm JD. This is Fred. Fred, mate, how are you? I'm still buzzing from our chat with Nelson Beikoff-Smart last week. It's what a great interview. If you haven't listened to that, by the way, go back and have a listen because he was excellent. How are you going, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. An apology we didn't get a podcast out for the review game because we actually were both sick at the same time, so it was like kaputs. No good. But yeah, that was an awesome interview with Nels. I really enjoyed it. He's a really likeable kid. He's got some talent as well, which is always good to see on the footy field. And, 40 goals, so I'm a bit perplexed on how I actually feel about the win, but we'll get into that in a minute.
Sounds good, mate. Let's just jump straight into our match review now.
Spotted Ivorak and Beikoff-Smart streaming toward goal. Now into the path of Cameron. Sits for him nicely. Tried to put the turn on and kicked a brilliant goal.
Well, the boys travelled over to Trevor Barker Oval on Sunday for round 13. They came away victorious after kicking 23 goals, 10, 148 to Sandringham's 17 goals, 10, 112, which usually would be good enough to beat most teams in most games, but it turned out to be a bit of a blowout. It was just some of the football that they played, Fred, was some of the best I've seen. Sandy went 4 goals up in the first quarter, and then the Devils kicked the next 6 goals in about 4 minutes. It was a really open, free-flowing match, and both teams at stages were able to put big, long strings of goals together. How did you see it, mate?
Yeah, like I said, I was a bit perplexed on how I felt about the game. But let's go back to the first quarter. When they got up by 4 goals, I just felt like the Devils' structure broke down defensively. Their pressure wasn't up, and it just felt like they were lacking a bit of firepower and not following the game plan that they always sort of, put out on the park. But then they kicked 1-2 goals pretty quick, and it was almost like they flicked a switch and away they went. And when it was from the middle, we were getting it out from the middle and getting it to the forwards quick. Leary had big moments. Menzie's had big moments in the first quarter. Big, huge Dixon was awesome up the forward line. He just monstered it. He had all the space in the world, which was excellent to see. But as the game got on, it just felt like it went in ebbs and flows. It was, they would kick 2 or 3 goals, we'd kick 5, and then back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that's how it pretty much played out for the whole game. And look, I did enjoy watching it, and it was a really good game to watch. But in saying that, you can't really give up 112 points to a team that's second last in scoring. That kind of is a little bit disappointing for me to see that. Our defence should have been better. I don't know how or why it was breaking down, but it just seemed like both teams were just, as soon as it gets on the half back and just put all their effort into getting it forward and kick the goal, not worrying about defending. And when it got turned over and put over their head. They just didn't have the juice to get back to defend. So that's why there was so much space for them to play. And I think the Oval's pretty much the same size as North Hobart as well, which is very interesting to see. But yeah, it was a strange game. But we'll take the W, and I'll procrastinate on it a bit more until this week coming up.
It was strange. It just seemed to be whoever got hold of the loose ball out of the pack was able to take it the distance, and there seemed to be a lot of really deep entries from both sides. A lot of really easy goals were kicked. I noticed. Let's have a look at the stats that matter. The Devils were beaten in every single stat except for tackles and goals, basically. Everything else was we got beaten, which I think just goes to show that the Devils are more efficient when they get the ball. But yeah, there were aspects of it that were a bit worrying, even though it was a pretty heavy win.
Yeah, one thing I did notice too, and like you said about the efficiency and how much I bang on about it, I'm starting to sound like a coach, which is pretty cool. But we use our feet much, much more than any other team. We look to get it on that 20, 15 metres and get it to the middle or switch it back. Or, we switch back and forth until we get the right positioning to get the ball up the field. So I'm really stoked about the efficiency. Like I said, this is what you want in football. It doesn't really matter how many posies you have or whatever. It's just how you get the ball to the next player is the most important part of the game of football, and putting it through the big sticks, obviously, which we done pretty well this week, which was excellent to see.
Tell you what, there was one man who managed to get it through the big sticks more than anyone, and he is our bets.com.au man of the match.
Made his debut in round one, did Tom O'Rourke, and they've trusted him with some big jobs. He had Brad Close a couple of weeks ago against the Cats, as Dixon takes it out of the ruck. He is a tremendous player, has the first goal of the game.
Hugh the Huge Dixon, 15 disposals, 5 goals, 15 hit-outs. He kind of went back to his traditional full forward role this game and just monstered them. Like you said, he had a lot of space to work into. Has been playing up the ground a little bit the last few weeks, but that wasn't necessarily how he was playing this week. Mate, how did you see big, huge Dixon's game?
Yeah, well, like I said, the slingshot footy was what it was all about. And when you've got Hugh one-on-one with anyone, he's going to win it probably 7 times out of 10. So he had all the space in the world. He had plenty of room to work in, and he had his kicking boots on, and he was up the ground. He was getting back. He was leaving it open for some of the other smaller forwards to get involved a little bit. He had all round an outstanding full forwards game. Like you don't see full forwards with 15 posies and 5 goals and a bunch of marks too. So excellent game by the big huge.
He's an interesting case, Hugh Dixon. I think at the moment you'd have to say he's got one hand on one of the Devils' golden tickets for when the AFL team come in. He's 27 years old, so that means he'll be 29 when the Devils play their first game. It's going to be really interesting to see if he can manage to get on an AFL list, and whether that age is it's sort of teetering. It could go either way, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could. But in saying that, we have got a lot of leeway and a lot of cash to throw around. So I think as a key forward, he might get on the list, but I really don't see his chances too high. As much as I do want him up there and playing for the senior Devils going forward, I just think we're going to have too much money to throw around at a high quality forward. And not to say that Hugh isn't a high-quality forward. He really is. But it'd be just interesting to see what happens in the next couple of years.
Absolutely. Let's move on now to our under the radar.
Not quite as familiar with a lot of them, and Sandy being a standalone now as they go into attack, and that's well held by Splann, the late in.
Yeah. Now, this week, our under the radar, our player that we're looking at, who doesn't necessarily get talked about as regularly as the Hugh Dixon does on the podcast, we're looking for someone who sometimes goes a bit forgotten, and we've got someone a bit different again this week. Fred, who did you want to talk about this week?
As soon as this game finished, I sent you this straight away. I said, we got to have Will Splann. He was excellent. He didn't get a whole lot of possessions. I think he got a couple of goals, but he was up the ground. He was taking some excellent marks. He was crashing packs. He was really busting the game open up on the wings. And I think that's what gave us a little bit of extra drive forward, because if he wasn't marking it, he was bringing it to ground, crashing the packs, taking numbers with him, and we were flicking it out, 1-2 handballs, getting it forward. So to see a forward that mobile and have that agility to get up the ground and back, it was excellent to see, and it was awesome to see him take a few awesome grabs. He was really, really, really impressive. I was absolutely stoked to see a forward, even if it's a half forward, centre half forward, him getting up the ground and presenting and not relying on, Leary and the smaller guys to take marks up on the wing. The big guys should be getting up there and taking the marks and feeding it off. So, Will, you've played an excellent game, mate, and I really hope to see more of Big Will going forward.
He did look excellent. Just such clean hands for sort of. I'd probably class him as he's tall, but he's probably more of a medium forward. Yeah. And in the first game we saw of him, without putting the moz on him, I guess, he seemed a bit fumbly. He seemed a bit in all sorts. He debuted with Maddox Iverack and Nelson Beikoff-Smart, and I thought those two outperformed him in that first game, but he looks to be settling. And if this is what we can expect from Will Splann, I think he's a Brighton boy. I'm very, very excited about potentially what he could provide.
Yeah, the way he goes and competes and flies for the ball and tries to get his hands on the ball and make it his own is enough for me to go, that's what we need up the field. In saying that, it's a high risk sort of position to do that, because you've got the potential of hurting yourself, crashing packs and marking it like that. But, I actually think the Devils need that. They really, really do need a mid-forward to come up, a mid-sized forward to come up and try and take those grabs, just to get up and make those leads and get on the lead and get their hands on it and defeat it off to other players if he's not within shooting range. So, yeah, let's look forward, and I hope he stays in just purely off that, because he was excellent. I can't speak any more praise as much as I have right now, because he really was good. And if you go back to your messages, JD, I reckon it was probably about 5 minutes after the game, the siren sounded, I went bang. I said, "We got it."
Yeah, you were red hot on it.
Yeah,
he probably offered in that game against Sandringham what we sort of expected Kai Cameron to be offering early in the season, and it just hasn't quite clicked for Kai yet. Kicked a very nice goal, Kai, on the weekend, but I think potentially Will has an eye on his spot, and we love the competition for spots in this team, because there are players waiting for their opportunity in the twos back in the local leagues. And I think we'll probably do a review on those guys very soon. We had a YouTube message last week asking if we could do an update on how the guys in the local leagues are going. And I don't mind that idea. So we might put something together
Yeah, thanks for that suggestion, whoever put that forward. That was a really good suggestion, and might do some research and see how they're going and where they're at, and I'll try and get some insider scoops for us in that regard as well.
Absolutely. All right. A couple of very big performances on the weekend. So let's have a look now at the votes. All right, Fred, take us through your votes for this week.
Yeah, we've obviously both went for Big Hugh. Hugh, excellent game. We can't talk more of what he done. It was an outstanding game. I got Geordie Payne as 4 votes. I actually thought his impact off the half-back line, he snuck forward and kicked a goal. He had that, he got that bit of mongrel about him, the tackling. He was really, really good. I was really stoked to see him play another game like that, and I think it's becoming more of an occurrence for him. I think his confidence up. I think having Zach Adams back there helping him out and a couple of others, which makes his job a little bit easier too. So a really good game by Geordie. Jye Menzie, what else can you say? This guy is absolutely dominating. He's dominated the whole year. What more can you say? Like, he's awesome. Brandon Leary, he's a freak. Brandon Leary, I thought he played excellent. He was everywhere. He runs around. He gets the ball. He makes good decisions. He hits it at pace when it's on the ground too. So he picks it up nearly at full tilt, and it makes it very hard to get him tackled too. So I just think he played an outstanding game, and he popped up when we were struggling a bit too in that first quarter. He started to get the Jets going, and he got us back in the game, as well as Jye and what's his name, Harry. Harry played really well in that section where we were struggling a bit, 4 goals down. And big Cam Owen, oh mate, I think easily his best game of the year. He probably didn't win the hit-outs, but man, he competed around the ground all game. You can see he's getting his motor back. He's making second and third efforts when that ball hits the ground, and that's what I really, really love to see. And good on Cam. I think he's putting a lot of the doubters to bed right now, and they can have a little nap and not talk for a little while. That'd be great.
Absolutely, we love Cam here on the Devil's Den. All right, I went somewhat similar, same faces, different numbers. Big Huge was the obvious 5-pointer. Not much more we could say about Huge. He was awesome. Jye Menzie, as you said, dead set freak, just was everywhere, all at once. And Brandon Leary, I want to expand on what you said about Brandon, mate, because when we went 4 goals down in that first quarter, he almost single-handedly put a stop to it. Kicked a goal of his own, had about 3 clearances in a row, and just ran out the front of the pack, which we absolutely love to see. But I feel like there's been a meeting. There's been a meeting at some point, because our clearances have been easily one of our weakest points this year. And Leary had 3 of them. Bailey Boag had 7. So there's a number of guys that they've obviously put the hard word on to get the clearances out. I didn't expect Brandon Leary to be one of them. I thought he was a forward pocket when he started, but he's got all the tools and the complete player.
Yeah, his game's expanded. You can
absolutely
see
it has.
His game's expanded. Yeah, he's put more notches into his bow.
Yeah, 100%, and having him and Jye just buzzing about with all the tools they've got, the goal kicking, the mongrel around the ball, but also the class on the outside. We are so spoiled as Devils supporters to be able to watch these guys, because the defensive
running's quite big for us too. You can see we get gassed doing it sometimes, but our defensive running is quite good.
Yeah, 100%. Caleb Mitchell had a very Caleb Mitchell game, which was good enough for 2 points. And like you said, Geordie Payne, with the mongrel that he provides off the half-back line, was absolutely excellent.
Can I add to the end of that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Since Boag's come back too, I think that he's been very impactful as he's come back with his tackling, his 1%ers, his pressure. Like if we've got a 0.5 vote system, I'd give him one for sure because he was that close. But I just felt like Cam had a very, very good game, and I don't think if we didn't have Cam, we'd probably be in a little struggle street. So it was good on him. But Bailey Boag, mate, I'm quickly becoming a fan of him. Just pure 1% machine he is. I think what he does is very underrated outside the footy world, but not inside the inner sanctum. The outside would be like, he doesn't get the ball much. They just look at his stats and numbers, but they don't see he's running, he's spoiling, his tackles, his even his attempt to smother the ball is huge. And I hope he keeps his spot, and I hope he keeps moving forward, because if he can put that together with a few more posies, he's going to be completely deadly.
Absolutely. If you go back and have a look at his games versus Queensland in last year's rep games that they put together, honestly, him and Sam Siggins were just the two dominant players on the ground. He's another one with all of the tools, and I've got no doubt that he's going to be collecting some votes very, very soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's have a look now at the leaderboard, and not much has changed. Jye Menzie is still running away with this award, the Devil's Den MVP. Caleb Mitchell comfortably on second. Hugh Dixon has moved up ahead of Brandon Leary, and Geordie Payne is climbing this ladder so quickly since he's been back from his injury. He's unbelievable. And then we've got Jed Hagan, Zach Adams, and Harry Elmer rounding out the top 8.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on before we wrap it up? It was a short and sharp one this week.
No, there's not much. I really hope, even though Brisbane floating down the bottom, we've only got a 5-day break, so that could work against us, and the travel and the temperature could be a thing for us this week. But I really hope they tighten the screws down in the back line. I really do. I just hope we just defend a little bit more harder than what we did this week, and I'm pretty sure that the rest will take care of itself. But yeah, a good game all round.
Looking forward to it. We'll be doing our preview for that later in the week, so keep an eye out for that. Also,
it's a Friday game.
It is, yeah. We might have to come out tomorrow. Gee,
Tomorrow, probably.
Maybe Wednesday. Go and have we said it at the top. I'm going to say it here at the bottom. Go and have a listen to our interview with Nelson Beikoff-Smart, because that was just such a fun chat we had with him. He was honest. He was open. He gave us some great insight about why he chose to come down to Tassie over potentially playing for West Coast. It was a great chat, and really, really worth going over and having a look. We do have a new subscriber goal. We want to hit 200 subscribers by our double header against the Gold Coast in round 16. We're currently on 178 subscribers, and we would love you to be on board. It helps you to see when we've got a new episode. It helps us to get out to more people. It's a win-win hitting that subscribe button. So that's about all from me. Fred, anything else from you?
Yeah, big shout out to the She-Devils for getting their first win as well. They played really well. I only unfortunately could watch the last half because I had kid duties, but they played really well. They just strung a really good game. They moved the ball well. They choked up the defense, and they spread the field really well from that last quarter, from what I've seen. And what a buzz for them! And hopefully there's a few more of them to come. I didn't get to hear the song, so ladies, if any of you guys are listening and you got a video of it, send it to us because I want to hear it. See how well you went.
Absolutely. I have no doubt that they absolutely nailed it, unlike how the boys went when they first sung theirs. Yeah, really good. Sandringham 2-6-18 to the She-Devils 6-7-43. Diani Krushka kicking 2 goals, and Claire Ransom, which is a great name. I wish my last name was Ransom. 23 disposals and 5 tackles. So some really, really good performances. I was going to cover it in the next episode, but I'm glad you brought it up, Fred.
Yeah, no, we have to give him love because it's a review show, so show him love.
Absolutely. All right, mate. Well, I will see you in the next one. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and always remember the map is back.
Bye-bye.
When the devil's here is